Does a woman owe a man sex after he takes her to dinner? I'm going to give you the ideas from John Gray in this book, Mars and Venus on a Date. The healthy masculine energy gives without expectation. He just gives what he wants. If he's giving to get, that's manipulation, first of all. So if you're going out with don't go out with manipulators. Just go out with men with the idea that I trust him to give what he wants. He's not a manipulator. Assume he's not a manipulator. How about that, ladies? Assume that he is not a manipulator. The healthy feminine energy receives without obligation, just receives with a gracious, receptive thank you. And in the same way that we have to remember that men assume the man is not a manipulator, assume that the woman isn't having sex with you out of obligation. Assume the woman is having sex with you out of her desire for you, not out of obligation. Men do not like when women have sex out of obligation. Real men don't like it. They don't want a woman who just fucks them out of pity, obligation, lays there, or pretends. Real men don't like that. Loser men or manipulators or takers might. So I know it's really hard. I've struggled with this myself in the past of thinking, well, he paid for me, so I owe him something, because I didn't really understand how much the feminine energy can be satisfying to the man in and of itself, and that there needs to be a level playing field. Because as much as I have compassion for the man really wanting sex, he has to have compassion for me wanting a relationship or exclusivity before I have sex. Right? I have compassion for him wanting sex, so I want to give it to him because it's in my nature to give to a man that I love, right? As women, as all people, we want to give to the people we love. So if I really like this man and I feel like he wants sex, I want to give it to him. But in the same way, he should want to give me what I want, which is an exclusive relationship. So there is kind of some thinking we have to change around. And it's really important to have sex when we want to, not out of duty or obligation. Okay, so the masculine energy wants to give. It pursues, it is in action. It directs. It has purpose and focus. It's purposeful, has a mission, courageous, adventurous, like its structure. And the feminine energy is soft, flowing, receptive. So men are going to pursue us, and they're more sexual and more logical, and we're more emotional based. So in order for us to be receptive to having sex, I think that our man should really be able to meet our emotional needs over a period of time and give us whatever degree of comfort we need, including exclusivity or marriage, whatever your philosophy is, ladies, before we have sex. Because if I have sex with the man out of obligation or returning a favor, or I need to please him, I have lost my feminine energy. And so this video is really about encouraging ladies that we have to stay in our feminine energy, and men have to stay in their masculine energy in order to have like the best kind of polarity relationship and maintain attraction. Because one thing that's happening is that men are becoming very feminized and people-pleasing to the woman, which makes the woman angry and makes her pull away and not want to even have sex with him anymore. And I'm just wondering how many women stopped having sex with their men because the men have become people-pleasers and lost their masculine core as the relationship went on. Well, if I just do what she wants, she'll love me. And that is not the way to be. And women, especially early on in the relationship, they're like, well, if I don't give him sex, he might leave me. Or, to be a good girl, I have to give him sex. But that's not the feminine energy. The feminine energy receives. So the man has to fill us up enough that we want to have sex with him because we've received so much. So what are the things that we can do, ladies, in order to not feel obligated? So first of all, assume that the man just wants to enjoy your company and start to realize that you have value aside from being a sexual object. Men actually enjoy women for our feminine energy. That's what they crave, our receptivity, our softness, our radiance, our joy, our acceptance of them, how we talk about our feelings, just being around us. If you think that your only value to men is for having sex, then leave a comment. I can make some more videos about that. You have a lot more value than just sex. And I don't know any men that marry women just for sex. They actually fall in love with women and enjoy women for their many other attributes. Okay, so realize that you have just your company is value enough. Trust the man to just spend on you what he feels comfortable spending without needing anything in return. And really focus on staying in your feminine energy of being accepting, soft, receiving. That is the best gift you can give a man, because the moment you start to feel obligated or like you have to please him, you've closed down your softness. You've put up a wall and you're no longer soft, and he will probably lose attraction to you. So if you can just stay receptive and appreciate what's happening in this moment without feeling obligated to give anything back, you're doing him the greatest favor. Really feel your receptivity, your openness, feel your appreciation of him. When you're at dinner, just tell him all the things you love about the restaurant and the menu and how awesome it is, and he's going to feel like a king. That is the greatest gift you can give the man at dinner. When he opens the door for you, thank him. Also, so these are all feeling things. I'm giving you feeling things. That's the gift you're giving the man, is when you're feeling all these positive emotions and exuding them, you're giving him the greatest gift. Where else is he going to get this? From his buddies at work? From his boss? From his colleagues? That is the greatest gift you can give a man. And I think that we as women don't really realize it. We're so focused on, even me, like, oh, you know, my wrinkles and what am I wearing? But the greatest gift we can give him isn't to do a bunch of Botox. It's to really appreciate his company and glow and bask in his company. Other feeling states is to just feel flattered by his desire for you. Just allow yourself to feel flattered. That, I'm giving you these feelings as I say them, they're opening feelings. They're opening. Any of these feeling states that you can bring in yourself are going to be the greatest gift you can give him. He can get pussy anywhere, but where can he get a really receptive woman? Where can a man find a really receptive woman? That's hard to find, you guys. That's hard to find. That's a gift better than your pussy. Anyone has pussy. Millions of women have pussy. But they're in their masculine energy. They have walls. They're closed down from their hearts. You know, they're having disconnected sex, or they're having sex out of obligation. I'm not saying all women, but it's kind of in our society. Porn-like sex, you know, I have to return a favor, or I'm going out to dinner with you, I'm on my phone. To really be present with the man and appreciate him and feel flattered by him. That's the gift of the heart, and that's the feminine energy, and that's the best gift you can give a man. So also is to feel your need for a man. The moment we are like, I don't need a man, I got this. Men have just hurt me. You're going to have all these stories. I know so many people, I got to fix my hair, have stories. I'm not going to date because all men are narcissists, or men just want sex, or men just this and that. That is just bullshit, you guys. You attracted that. You attracted that because you grew up with that and you didn't get past it. That's a fucking story. I'm not buying it. Men do not want just sex. And not all men are narcissists or takers or cheaters. That's a fucking story. We all have our own stories. I have my own story. Men are unavailable. That's a bullshit story. And then we go through life with that belief, and we attract that because that's what we expect, and that's what we look for, and that's what's familiar. So you have to drop the stories. And even if you don't want to date, the receptive energy feels the need for support. If you don't want to feel your need for a man right now, feel your need for God. Feel your need for support. Allow yourself to be supported by other people. Friends, therapists, trainers, classes you're taking, or just allow yourself to be supported by a fantasy lover. Stay open and stay receptive. That's the feminine energy, feeling the need to be supported without, it's different from really needing it. It's like I'm allowing myself to need. I don't really need out of emptiness. I'm just feeling my ability to need, if that makes any sense. So if you don't allow yourself to feel that need for a man, or you feel obligated, then you're putting up walls, and you lost your feminine energy. So just be aware of that, and really just kind of takes practice to kind of cultivate these states and tell ourselves that this is a healthy state rather than a negative state. I think maybe many of us were taught that, when someone gives you something, you should give something back, or you shouldn't need a man. And all those are things that close down the heart. So these things I'm giving you are opening and trusting. And when you feel that in your heart, it's really harder for you to be hurt because you're already connected to your heart. So if a guy leaves you or whatever, you can always come back to your own heart. Now, when a man does want sex, then it's really polite to him to let him know that you desire him, but you're just not ready to go any further. Like, I like this, but I'm not really ready for more. And if the man just really wants you more sexually, which is nothing wrong with that, most men want most of us sexually. If he just feels a sexual attraction to you, then he may not want to keep dating you, and that's fine. Let him go. But if he feels more than physical chemistry, making him wait is not going to make him leave. So this is a good test, and we test each other all the time. It's a good test of a man you're dating, that when you tell him you're not ready for more, if he respects your boundaries, or if he keeps pushing, or if he leaves. I'm not saying that he's bad for leaving, but then that means he's not the right man for you. And if he's pushing your boundaries, definitely get rid of that guy. So when a woman, let me just make sure I don't know if I got everything that I put on my list. So when a woman, these are the things that make a woman lose her feminine energy. She's putting up walls when she feels obligated to give a man something, because when she feels obligated, she denies her need for a man. Well, I'm going to feel obligated, so I'm not going to let myself need a man, and now I'm closed off. If she pleases him in order to get him, like, I'm going to have sex with you so you'll like me more, so that I won't lose you. The moment she's pleasing him and overgiving, that makes him lazy, actually, and it also makes him lose attraction. If she's overgiving. So the woman should not be overgiving. If she feels pressure to give back sexually, if she's returning the favor, you gave me dinner, so I'm going to return the favor by giving you sex. But the real favor she wants is a relationship or marriage. So sex for dinner is really not a fair exchange. And resistance also lowers her ability to feel attractive. When I'm resisting men and I'm closed and I don't feel sexy, I don't let myself feel attractive. So in order to be in your feminine energy, you have to just think of yourself as being imagine being in a big sweater of feminine energy and just revel in it. That's all you have to do, is just Imagine this feminine energy around you and you're just reveling in it and exuding it like this little sex pot that's all receptive and warm and appreciative and joyful and loving and open and receptive and soft. That's all you have to do. And your body will start giving you signals that you want more. It has to come from within you. Exude your sexual energy. Be flattered by his desire for you. Receive and respond warmly to him. Say smile and say thank you. Feel your need for a man. And if he, when he pushes for sex, and he should and he will, say, I like this, but I'm not ready for more. And you can take your sexuality through stages. Base 1, base 2, base 3. Just like, who is the other? Evan Katz in his videos talks about the stages of sex. So does John Gray. That you can just do kissing, and later you can just like do, like with the breast, and then you can do heavy petting, and then you can wait to have intercourse until you're in a committed relationship. Now, I'm not saying you should wait until then, but it's really important for a woman to feel until she's ready, because a man is not going to get his feelings hurt when you have sex with him and dump him. But a woman can easily get her feelings hurt because we are more emotional. So it's easier for us to be emotionally hurt than it is for the man. So we get to decide when we're emotionally ready for more, and he, as the giver and the pursuer and in action mode, is going to kind of push for more and want more. But we are the gatekeepers to sex, and men are the gatekeepers to relationship. So it only makes sense to me, I'm going to throw a very extreme idea out there that people don't really talk about, is that ideally people become sexually, have intercourse after they're in an exclusive relationship. There is no need to give a man sex before that, because women, what we really want from the men we're having sex with most of the time is a relationship. So why do we feel obligated to give him the sex and he hasn't felt obligated to give us the relationship? And furthermore, rushing into sex bypasses some of the intimacy parts that may be the most uncomfortable. It's like exploring your feelings, just being together physically. Do you even desire your partner enough to just lay there with him or her for hours perhaps? Just being with each other, looking in each other's eyes. I got that out of this book. I'm like, who does that? I've never done that. I'm like, oh, you're here, let's suck on your cock and let's fuck. I'm very quick. I'm hard to get. Very hard to get. But when I like a guy, I tend to be really quick, and I bypass like the talking, the eye, looking for hours in each other's eyes and kissing. And guys, if your woman doesn't want to do that with you, then she's not really into you enough. And if your guy doesn't want to do that for you, he's withholding emotional intimacy. I think we're too quick, myself included, to bypass the emotional intimacy and go right to the sexual intimacy. Because there's mental, emotional, and spiritual intimacy as well. So I'm going to challenge ladies who feel like I have to give him sex for dinner, in exchange for dinner. Why not give him emotional intimacy first, rather than the physical intimacy? Because that is a much greater gift that is really lacking in our society. So there's my challenge for the ladies, is to give him the emotional intimacy before the physical intimacy. See if you want to have that with him. See if he values that. Because if he doesn't, you guys might just end up just having physical sex in your whole relationship. And I want you to see your value as your feminine energy and not just your physical form. And by the way, one last thing about polarity is that we're spiritual beings, so we're all spiritual at our core. But in the world of form, we're physical, and we're attracted to people with other certain physical energies that complement or match ours, and opposite polarities. So the more masculine a man is, the more feminine the woman has to be. So all of you ladies craving a masculine man, the more you can be in your feminine energy, the more you will attract a really masculine man. And I want to give you permission, ladies, to receive. Receiving is not plundering. It's a misconception that receiving is plundering. Plundering is taking, it's depleting, and receiving is opening and giving. That's how we give to men, by receiving. And thank you for watching my video.